it may end up being the difference between getting a house and not getting a house. It's an easier, more streamlined experience when we have already vetted through the hundreds of lenders we've experienced in our career and are able to tell you these are the 3, 4, 5 that not only would I work with personally, but do work with personally, when I'm doing my own deals. Getting pre-qualified, getting approved, getting things, lined up and ducks in a row before we get out there and fall in love with a home is a really good idea for you. What we want is to make sure that you're comfortable, able, and willing to pay a certain price so that you don't fall in love with a home you ultimately don't want to buy. So first and foremost, we want to get you connected with one of our friends who also happens to be in the mortgage lending business. You're going to be equipped with a local to Austin expert in terms of what the dynamics of our market are right now. And this is valuable when it comes to competing in a multiple offer situation. Even if you're just up for a house that's special and sort of being held, precious by that seller, they want to know that the person that sends them a letter saying that you're a viable buyer and you're, qualified to buy this home is actually backing that up with reputation, with credibility, and at the end of the day that they'll answer their phone. Our friends in lending do. So this is going to be important when you're going after that dream home. If you're bringing to the table sort of an internet lender, like we like to say, based solely on something that you were promised in terms of a rate or lower fees, or even potentially some kind of rebate, it may end up being the difference between getting a house and not getting a house, based on the fact that if multiple people are coming to the table and the agent representing the seller is contacting lenders to really check out where you are in this qualification sort of spectrum as a buyer, and that lender isn't working or doesn't answer their phone, not only have they missed that potential to sell you and your viability, but they have proven themselves to be someone that may not be as committed to the getting this done as they need to be. That's number one. Number two is really huge topic right now when it comes to why cash? Why would somebody come and bring this huge amount of money to the table when they can get a loan in the twos? 2.5%, 3.25%, wherever they may be. In most people's mind, it's all cash when it's done, right? So why such sort of a value placed on an all cash offer versus a lending offer? Sometimes even when a mortgage offer is higher, when it funds and closes, it's the same thing to the seller. The cash offer takes out a lot of contingencies and a lot of sort of roadblocks that would potentially derail your deal. So a seller isn't looking at this offer as just simply, oh boy, this person's paying cash. What it really is saying, there's not an underwriter that's gonna tell this person no. There's not an appraiser that's gonna come in and say, I'm not gonna lend on this house. There's not, whatever it may be in the processing of the loan that might take too long or sort of, somehow end up derailing the timeline when the seller has to move into their other house. Cash greases the tracks and makes the purchase between you and the seller. So less contingencies. How do we, someone who's not able or willing to bring all cash to the closing, compete with a mortgage financed offer? Working with our group of vetted, trusted, and special local lenders. That's how we compete. This person's going to get you as far along in the process as possible to where you are actually as close to a cash deal as you can be. They're going to coach you through what it means to have an appraisal waiver. They're going to call the listing agent and sell you. They're going to talk about the strength of your qualification and how they've already, pulled credit, verified assets. They're going to level the playing field as much as possible so that you actually do compete with those cash deals. It creates this strength of sort of the chain, right? The chain is as strong as its weakest link. And when you give us this vetted relationship, shorthand, kind of business, capital working relationship with the lenders that we love and trust, we can advocate for you even more and potentially win you that house that 10 other people want. So yeah, reach out. Let me explain more about what goes into that process and why it's really important to think about the service aspect of lending and not just the rate and fees.